It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay-by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on this radio station, Real FM, 91.3 for the North and 91.5 for the South. And we're also simulcasting on NBC Television, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. 5 days a week, holidays and weekends accepted. And we hope that you're having a good day so far and looking forward to a similarly beautiful remainder of this Wednesday, the 26th of February 2025. Now, before I forget, let me tell you that yesterday I announced that I would be in the Senate tomorrow, Thursday. However, there's been a little change of plans and schedule, and not for the Senate. For me, the Senate will still meet, but I won't be in the Senate tomorrow. So I just wanted to let you know that. Therefore, I will be here hosting The Real Issues tomorrow. Let me just tell you that out of support for our Parliament, for its officials, for its members in both houses, the elected House of Assembly and the appointed membership of the Senate, the President and them all, that today and tomorrow I decided to wear my Parliament button, Parliament of St. Lucia type in here as a temporary senator. I was actually gifted with one of those, if I remember correctly, either by the clerk or by the Madam President, because I'll be speaking about the Parliament. And so, though I will not be physically present tomorrow, in support of what happened yesterday, and I'm talking about the good things, the right things, the proper things that happened, and in support of the right things, the good things, the proper things, the procedural things that I expect and know and I'm convinced will be happening tomorrow. I've decided for the first time, I think this is the first time I'm wearing my Parliament type-in button, I just felt I needed to, as an act of solidarity, as an affirmation of my patriotism, that I really should do it. And although I intended to give another thing first in the queue, but I'll talk about the Parliament. Alan Chastney is not the only person who has ever misbehaved in Parliament. I'm going to be the first to say that. We have instances of people seeming to have, just like you have air rage when people are on planes and road rage, Alan Chastney seems to have something that I will call Parliament rage in him. I don't know what's causing it, but I believe it is not inconsistent with the displayed character of this man. He seems to be driven by a lot of grudge, by a lot of hatred, by a lot of enmity, by a lot of resentment against particular persons. And I've mentioned that before. In the case of Richard Frederick, I can understand, because it's not like Richard himself has been taking it easy and relaxing when it comes to Alan Chastney. I mean, Richard has been going at him from the day he took over or even announced his intention to run for the leadership of the UWP. Richard has pulled no punches. Richard has not held himself back in any way from going full steam ahead and full power at Alan Chastney. So I can say, okay, leave Richard alone or out of that. Maybe it's a retaliation, as Richard has not given him an easy time. Although that does not explain how this year started with everything was Richard. Okay. The Banana Land sale to a supposed non-entity and suggesting that Richard Frederick may have pocketed the difference, whatever, between the 1 million US 2.7 million EC that it was sold for and the 3.5 million and $800,000 difference and so on. The same thing, with Ernest Delay. You claim that there was supposed to be a certain amount of money, and even though you don't say it, there's some things you don't need to say. Where's the funds? Like somewhere between Ernest Delay and McLeod Emmanuel that they pocketed $1.2 billion. I don't know how it's possible to do that and so on. But Alan Chastney seems to be driven by people that he has a beef with. And like the old people would say, this man looks like he's not just petty, he's very vindictive, he's full of hate, and when he goes out after somebody, and that is why he has not evolved, he has not developed, he has not metamorphosed into a better, a more effective politician. Whether as prime minister, whether as opposition leader, or any other capacity, you look at it, UWP leader Alan Chastney is one of the most glaring cases of arrested development. And that is something I was trying at one time to say to one of his surrogates, a woman, but I stopped. Because I said, what she's doing, it suits me just fine. Why try to show people the error of their ways? Why make people wise to their own follies? Leave them alone. If they think it's you they're going after, they're doing exactly what it is that will actually make you get the better of them. So I stopped saying that. But Alan Chastney is really arrested development, because many of us may not have seen it at first. But this man has something about him when you see he sets his sights upon embarrassing somebody, upon shaming somebody, upon dirtying somebody's name and reputation. No matter what he thinks is the finesse with which he does it with a certain degree of implacable, relentless, tenacious ruthlessness and so on. And it's not just people of Labour Party and people who oppose, people within the UWP. I don't need to take you through the history, of what Alan Chastney has done to people. That is why the UWP is so depleted. That is why Alan Chastney does not have the quality of people who can help him to push UWP forward and mount a serious challenge that is based upon respect, that has some kind of dignity to it, that has some kind of class to it in terms of his effort to push back the Labour Party. So it always depends on the same kind of insults and the same kind of mepui and the same kinds of innuendo and epithets and those kinds of things. That's what it always is. Alan Chasney takes that Kwapo and this kind of thing, which as far as I remember was a woman who it seems had some fling, what else is new anyway? Her whole life seems to be about that. Some fling with Richard Frederick at one time, and so now Richard Frederick has turned into frog face. That's how she refers to him. Well, it seems like every man she's had some kind of fling with and so on, they become something. Either she's putting things online suggesting that the men are homosexual. I don't know how every man you pass with, because you're not together, they are bullers, and they interfere with little boys, and they bullying little boys. I don't know. You must have gotten bulled quite a lot yourself, that every man you pass with, once you all break up, their penis small. They have small penis, and they bullying. I don't know. I don't know. What is this thing about that some people don't seem able to separate and break up and whatever without there being that kind of bile and animus and hatred, and suddenly nothing about the person was ever good and this sort of thing. But to hear Alan Chasney, at least this person is not as far as we know, a politician or someone running for elective office and so on. That seemed to have evaporated and so on. I'm told that Cambridge Analytica no less told Alan, that this person is not suitable material, not just for being a candidate, but to have at the forefront, being your PR person and your mouthpiece. This person is more of a liability to you. I don't know if that is part of what caused the stress on the individual, that I understand that, she was warded, and no pun intended, but, we'll take it for what it is. I'm told, and somebody even sent me a picture of the institution where that individual was warded, for mental health problems and so on. So I don't know if that means the individual in some overseas country is now a certified basket case, I don't know, but to hear Alan Chasney come in with the House about referring to Richard Frederick as Kwapo, they call him Kwapo, and this kind of thing. I mean, if you say Richard Frederick is someone who is verbally abusive and so on, how does it help you? Richard Frederick has never occupied the chair of Prime Minister. I don't think even in an acting capacity. How does it help you for you to come into the Parliament and to be using... You do that on the platform, okay. You do that on your town hall meetings. You do that in your lives. But is there anything about Parliament that comes at such a premium, that carries, to use your own word? And when you talk about your own class didn't vote for you, this is what I suppose the class you're referring to. That's what they're watching. You're leader of the opposition, chairman of Public Accounts Committee, you former prime minister, immediate past prime minister, and so on. What you bringing that kind of thing into the Parliament for? It's like there's no sense of prestige or sanctity or premium about Alan Chasney and Parliament. There just isn't. He has no sense of that in relation to the Parliament. Parliament is something that is ordinary, something that, you can wipe your feet on. And we need to understand that this didn't begin yesterday. When someone can come, wins an election convincingly 11-6, chooses someone to become the deputy speaker, is approved, no problem. But of course we know things were happening at the time with that individual. Maybe you never expected her to win the Central Castries seat, which she won. Maybe you all made peace in some way. Maybe she threatened that she was going to resign the seat which she had done before, precipitating a by-election, which is what facilitated the first rise of Richard Frederick in elective politics to get elected. Maybe he was afraid that she might resign the seat, and for the second time, Richard Frederick might win that seat again in a by-election, and he might be back. So maybe it was more convenient to make peace with her and to give her. But you went and you removed her as deputy speaker and leave the deputy speaker position vacant, and said, it's not important essentially. Because although the Constitution says there shall be a deputy speaker, it's not optional. It's not a choice. You leave the deputy speaker position vacant and say, two things. It's not only the government's responsibility to basically supply one of its members to become the deputy speaker. You say that. Well, governments are governments precisely for that reason. They are the ones who, they do what is necessary. They are the ones who bail the cat. They are the ones who ensure that things move and shake. They are the principal and primary movers and shakers. You left it without. And your second thing was that even though the Constitution calls for a deputy speaker, it doesn't mention any sanction. So, while we think it's black people who have the slave mentality, you had it even more than them, because you're saying that unless there is something to lash you on your back, you're not going to do right by your Constitution, by your laws, whatever it is. And so there has been a disdain for Parliament, going very early in the days when Alan Shastey was elected for the first time, to the House of Assembly and became Prime Minister. So let's forget about the Kwapo thing and let's move on. I've mentioned in the past ad nauseum about Alan Shastney's behavior towards Ernest Hilaire. And Ernest Hilaire at some point explained where there was a falling out since the days of Cricket World Cup and so on, where Alan Shastney thought he could talk down to him and diss him and disrespect him. And he stood up to him and he answered him and he told him, he told him what time it is. He told him where to get off. And like Alan Shastney has never forgiven him for that and is looking for every way he can, to embarrass Hilaire, to damage his reputation, to malign him, to slander him, whatever it is. And we've seen this thing happening over and over again. Stephenson King, we all know the reasons, the bad blood and so on over the role King played in ensuring the defeat of the UWP and so on. We all know. But King has his own story to tell about the disrespect, the contempt, and the disdain that he got. And so there is that. But beyond all of these, there is the Speaker. Shastney seems to have something with always trying to see if he can undermine Claudius Francis. Like he's always trying to force a confrontation with Claudius Francis, so that either he can run to the court for some injunction when he's put out or whatever. He seems to enjoy that more than staying in the House to participate in things. Maybe he just doesn't have, he's just not up to it. And as we say in our Creole, lever la boue, so that he can find some excuse to walk out and to get out and to go instead on the talk show. Maybe he's more comfortable. I get the feeling that Shastney is not at ease. He's not comfortable. He doesn't feel relaxed and so on in the House. So he's always looking for something to go. It's like he's always trying to do something to see if he can goad and provoke Speaker Claudius Francis into taking some kind of action so that he can go get Garth Patterson and Mark Maraj and they can file some injunction and they can file this and they can file that. Like he enjoys that more. How much representation are the people or have the people of Miku South been getting in this parliament since Alan Shastney became the elected MP? They've elected him twice. The man is always being disruptive, is always a walkout. A speaker has told you, look, this matter has been settled. It's been settled in terms of the facts of the Dahem Mall, what they are, who it was sold to, the land was sold and everything on it. You're standing in the parliament and you're telling the speaker, I will not allow you. Who are you to tell any speaker about allowing him? And the history to that is that it did not begin with Claudius Francis. This kind of insolence, insubordination, rebellion, whatever, against the speaker, refusal to comply with the speaker's orders and directions and ruling, and in fact with the standing orders of the House of Assembly. This refusal to comply, it happened during Shastney's own tenure as Prime Minister, during the term of the government that he led. Do we remember when Andy Daniel, a former UWP candidate, a lawyer who has served as magistrate, told Shastney there is something you cannot be on your feet, and calling other members liar and saying that they lie. You cannot do that. I'm asking you to withdraw several times. And Shastney sat down. I think he even turned his chair sideways, like he's not even making eye contact with the speaker, and said, I'm not going to withdraw it. I'm not going to withdraw it. You can do what you want. I'm not going to withdraw it. Was that not grounds right there and then for some action to have been taken against Shastney? Of course, we didn't hold our breath then. We can't hold it now. For Shastney to have been put out, for him to have been suspended, for something to have happened to him. But of course, who you expect Andy Daniel would have done that? Invite anybody to put a motion and to say, to call for the suspension of Alan Shastney until he apologizes? And so even though he has lost an election, the man feels entitled, the man feels empowered, the man feels he enjoys some kind of immunity and impunity, which he continues to practice. The microphone was switched off. I'm sure Shasney must have realized the microphone was switched off. He continued on and on and on, taking up the parliament's time, refusing to give others who had a meaningful contribution to make the occasion, the space, the opportunity for them to contribute, wasting the parliament's time. And I know he's doing that, so that the speaker can order the sergeant at arms to remove him, and then he can come and go and file a motion about how he was assaulted and his arms were grabbed, and, look at the finger mark. I mean, all these kind of things. This is the childish antics that a man who was once our prime minister and is actually making a case for us to make him our prime minister again. That's the kind of behavior we're getting from him. Here's the kind of behavior we're getting from him. You think this thing is a joke? Once people have shown you who they are, you better believe them, because this man is continuing to show us who he is. Continuously. The whole behavior patterns. If you say Richard Frederick is bad, are you any better? Is that the way you deal with it? I mean, I looked at this and I had to message somebody. At first I said, wait. Is he going to continue that thing for as long as he has? I decided, let me check. Is my TV really working, or is that really, is this for real? I switched to other channels. The television volume is working quite good. No problem. I messaged people inside the parliamentary chamber at the time to ask them, what is going on there? I can understand why a man would stay on his feet doing this. But anyway, Lord of mercy. Sometimes you wonder if these things are done deliberately, to make that kind of talking point, because it really, really is a shame for a man who likes to tell people you should be ashamed and you should be embarrassed all the time. I wonder whether Mr. Shasney has any shame or embarrassment to be engaging in this kind of behavior. And it looks like some kind of vendetta against Claudius J. Francis, to always make sure that you have him in a situation where he's probably agitated, where you can embarrass him, where you can show that he can't control the thing. And look at this is the Claudius Francis, who two of his elder brothers are ardent supporters of Shasney, Yet Shasney is always trying to undermine their brother. Not on a personal level, but in a public, state, national, constitutional capacity as the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Like, the man is always trying to make Claudius Francis look bad. And I'm saying, what kind of class is that? And it's yourself you're making look bad. People, how many of you all are going to just forget about what Alan Shasney has shown and believe that you're going to just block your nose, pinch your nose, bite your lip, and just go ahead and say you're supporting the man? What is there about what this chap is doing to support? He does it almost every time. There's hardly a session of the parliament that Shasney is not trying to disrupt it. There's hardly any of them. Can you trust this man for serving constitutionally in a state capacity as prime minister or whatever in the future, when he's showing that he wants to create chaos and confusion and upend everything at every opportunity he gets if it doesn't go his way? I have told you already when I see his behavior, and that is why he has earned himself the name Tropical Trump, and it's getting worse, because the man he's patterned himself on is actually gotten worse in his second coming. Donald Trump is far worse than he was. And when we look back, you have me talking sometimes about the will of God. We have to tell ourselves, this COVID pandemic, did it put a little, how we call that in football, when you body check somebody, you put a little block on them, your body block them and so on, so that they can't continue. Did the COVID pandemic put a little body check, a little body block on Alan Shasney and Donald Trump? That the absolute necessities of doing things in order to cope with the pandemic prevented those guys from developing the kind of momentum, the kind of unconstitutional momentum, the autocratic momentum that they would have gained to do things their way, were it not for the pandemic. Its effect, including Trump, who got COVID at one time, and or if he was a lot more sick than he wanted to make people realize or know. He, Boris Johnson, and a few others who were skeptics at first and all of that, but then they realized they could have died with this thing, And you ask yourself in St. Lucia, were it not for the COVID pandemic and the absolute necessities that it placed, the unavoidable necessities that did not allow Shastney, like Trump, to do. So they need a second coming to come and to finish their agenda, their plans and so on, to really make people's lives beyond miserable and to mess up countries that they lead so that they become unrecognizable. Because the behavior we're seeing is a man who wants to come back to finish what he started, to start things that he had planned to. But the pandemic ate some of the time, some of the opportunity, some of the preparation for that big push that they wanted to make. You know, maybe sometimes you look back and you tell yourselves that even all the tragedy that COVID was and all what went with it, maybe by the will, the merciful, gracious will of God, it was a form of deliverance. Fellas like Trump and Shastney didn't get to do as much as they intended and set out to do. And I'm talking about wickedness. I'm not talking about good things. So they need this second pass. I've told you already, look at the chaos. Look at the chaos that is rising, that is developing, that is enveloping America right now. You know? Look at the chaos in international relations of traditional allies, wondering, my goodness me, did we just see America come to the United Nations and vote with Russia, Iran, North Korea, you know, and so on? Did we just see that? Did we just find ourselves, you know, having to vote against America and see America side with what we consider these bad hombre nations, North Korea, you know, Iran, who are all in that war against Ukraine, siding with Russia, sending troops, giving things and all of that. Today, America is voting with them. Oh, they can't wrap their minds around it. You know, Denmark has to worry about whether it will wake up tomorrow and find, you know, U.S. forces have occupied Greenland and snatched it away from it. Ukraine now being told, you know, virtually twisting its arm, give us this or that, or we'll leave you to the mercy of the Russians, you know. You know, there's the kind of thing that's happening. What's going to happen with St. Lucia? What is going to happen in St. Lucia? Return of Lima Group and breaking of relations with Venezuela and breaking of relations with Cuba to impress Trump, regardless of what it has meant for St. Lucians and their scholarships and their education and a whole other thing. What's it going to mean? The shutting down of St. Jude Hospital and the demolition of more things than the 2 buildings that they demolished, and the stopping of the Halls of Justice project, and maybe putting bulldozer in them and mashing them up so we can have a clearer view of the harbor from the church, and, you know, all the foolishness of excuses and rationalizations, you know, that will be thrown out. Maybe the Castries Comprehensive School will actually put dynamite in it and blow it up to put something else because it's in the path of a tsunami. You know, who knows what's going to happen when people are showing us who they are and behaving. But I have to ask the question. Why has no action been taken? Is it that the injunctions he took that they cannot yet be lifted, the whole privileges committee thing, that the man feels that he has the confidence that he can come there and do some foolishness over and over and over? Our parliament is being subverted. Our parliament is being supplanted. Our parliament is being, you know, that you actually have to do that and take a break and come back again and keep mic switched off, people seeing what's happening, but they cannot hear a thing because you know, you have to show this guy, you have to deal with him and so on. How long? When we have so much in the country to transact, so much business to do, that we will have to put up with the distracting, at the very least, antics and theatrics and dramatics of Alan Shastney. How long? Shastney has to be stopped. He has to be stopped, and the parliament is the place where some decisive... You can't have a 15-2, and this guy can come there every time and pappy show everything like that. You can't have that, man. 15-2. I'm concerned, you know, I've said it before, that this Labour government, when it has the greatest political power, which the people have handed to it, that at times, and this is not the parliament, I know it's not the party, but come on, the majority, even without Stephenson King and Richard Frederick, Labour Party controls a 3/4 majority, 13, to take some decisive action for someone to move a motion and to deal with this thing. Let him go to court, let him injunction and everything like that, let him run to court every time. Now it's something about the CIP he's bringing up again because, you know, the errand boy Martinez has bungled it up so badly and so irreversibly that finally he has to show his hand. He has to come up and to take up what Martinez could not pull off. Terence Drew prepared to do that when Terence Drew showed, you know, what Martinez really was. An extortionist, a man trying to bribe him, a man trying to shake down St. Kitts and Nevis for between 40 to 100 million US dollars. It was only a matter of time. We know who in St. Lucia was encouraging Martinez and maybe funding him, pushing him forward to do that dirty piece of work on this country for them. So now Martinez has bungled it and blundered and everything and messed up. So now the real person who was behind Martinez now has decided, I need to do this myself. Do it. I don't say good luck to you. I wish you the worst of luck. I wish you the worst misfortune. You can't be trying to mess up my country and I wishing you good luck. Anyway, folks, it's about 1 o'clock. Let's take the commercial break. I have a bit more to say. So don't go away. The Real Issues is on, powered by Blue Waters.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
You are listening to and watching The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, Alton Jaquan Joseph, our technical operator. I hope that your Wednesday is going great and that you have every reason to be optimistic, confident that the remainder of today will be likewise enjoyable, rewarding, fulfilling, productive, all of that. Police, at a time when we're hearing about sick out, at a time we're hearing about police are under so much stress because the amount of overtime. If people are working a lot of overtime, doesn't it stand to reason? Is it not the only thing that makes sense that overtime is something that is computed? So that if you work 8 hours overtime, that's a double shift. You're supposed to get paid more, and if that overtime comes on a public holiday or on a Sunday, whatever, it's adjusted, whether it's double time, whether it's time and a half. As far as I know, the computation of overtime has never been something that is disputed. And by that I mean the system of computing overtime. I never know that it's disputed. Do you ever hear of anything where you give people a flat sum, a flat rate for overtime? So basically, I'm going to add $500 on your salary for the month, and that's for overtime. Does that not leave room open for abuse by both the employer and the employee? That an employer can make you work, so much overtime that exceeds what $500 would have normally compensated for. And he said, I pay you a flat rate overtime. So even if I make you work a double shift every day, whatever, it's $500 you get in. Who asked for that? What person with half a brain asked for that? Don't you believe by the same token, employees will also try to see if they now can gain a leg up, gain an upper hand and advantage and try to work as few overtime hours as possible so that the $500 will cover it, and they maybe will have a little extra on top of that. So I'll do everything to skimp on overtime so that when I get my $500, either the $500 cuts even for the overtime I've worked, or maybe I only worked the equivalent of $300 overtime, the other $200 is something, because you've agreed to flat rate. I never heard about that. Who makes noise for flat rate overtime and so on, Overtime computed, you okay, you have supervisors who check okay, you assigned to whatever beat and patrol at whatever time, and you signed out whatever time because the traffic was heavy today because XYZ you had to do, so you work overtime. I'm just asking about that people are making noise now about, the Minister of Finance agreeing to pay salary increase and back pay to a certain category of public servant, aka police, who have not yet concluded negotiations, but basically saying while the outcome or the conclusion of negotiations is pending, don't leave them out of the loop in terms of what's been given to everybody else. Give it to them, and then we'll do whatever adjustments come at the end. Who goes and quarrels about that is disrespectful and that it is this and that? Some things are just weird, But I understand that the totality of the police force is not the president of the Police Welfare Association. Cameron Law is not the... But you have to ask yourself, what is the discontent and the malcontent and the whatever it is that goes if a man who is 20, 30 years a policeman in the force and is still a constable? Is it that are you angry because you feel someone has victimized you? Well, don't tell me Labour has been in power all that time that you've been in the police force. As far as I know, there was a UWP government. I don't need to go before that. I don't know when you joined the force, Mr. Law. But there was a UWP government from 1982 to 1997. There was a Labour government from 1997 to 2006. There was another UWP government from 2006 to 2011. A Labour government from 2011 to 2016. A UWP government from 2016 to 2021. Let's just say, because I notice almost all your stances are against Labour. They're against Labour governments and Labour prime ministers and Labour ministers responsible for the police. Mr. Law, if anybody goes and says that you are a flabo cop, you can't blame them for thinking that way. You can't blame them for thinking that you are a UWP agent planted or inserted inside the police force to achieve certain objectives and agenda. You can't blame them for that. Because you always seem to be making noise, mostly, some might say only, when the Labour government is in office. It's only then you seem to have this and that. You talk about it. I wonder if during the last term of the UWP, whether you came out to speak about impacts report and this and that, and all the things, is when you take over again in 2022 when the Labour government is there, you started having a go at commissioners and deputy commissioners. And I'm wondering, who is a constable? This is not a police welfare matter to be critiquing your commissioner, to be commenting on what is not yet even a court case. It's allegations, against a deputy commissioner that certain females said whatever. I'm not saying it needs to be investigated, but it's not a police welfare matter in the sense of what we understand police welfare to be. You take too much of a stretched, extenuated interpretation of police welfare issues so that you can bring them under your wing and make it seem like it is part of your purview. But let's leave all that alone. You need to ensure that the protest mode in which you are trying to stir up and to whip up the police force and the members and so on. I don't know how many people let themselves be influenced by you anyway, but sometimes in the background there are people who are out there using people, pushing them forward and weaponizing them so that it will not seem that it's coming from them. I don't know if you're letting yourself be used by other people. I don't know. Are you upset, Mr. Law, at your lack of progress where rank and promotion is concerned in the police force? That maybe you believe if you do what you're doing, some promise maybe will be made to you or has been made to you that if UWP wins, they're going to give you some other position at a higher grade or something. I don't know. Are you looking forward to being kicked upstairs? As was done with but these people were at far higher rank than you. Osbert Regis, Severin Muncheri, The directorate at the time did not want them there. They kicked them upstairs, as opposed to Philip J. Pierre, who came and said, look, let's allow Milton Daisy to finish the term of his contract, whatever it is, as Commissioner of Police. Let's hold off on Crusita Descat Pelius' retirement and make her commissioner for the last 2 years, whatever, and bring her on an extended thing and so on. That's what happened. Maybe you're looking forward. Maybe they promise you some position or something, I don't know, that will result in higher grade and higher pay in spite, or maybe they'll just, like they did it for another cop, just overnight make you a sergeant or make you an inspector. Is that what you're working towards? Police welfare. Look at a situation now where a sergeant was one of the people, I think, who's covered under police welfare according to the rank. I think Police Welfare Association can represent people up to a certain rank, and I think sergeant is covered. But look at this, Do you care about the welfare of the people of St. Lucia that at the same time you are instigating police to go and seek out and to take protest action and all this thing under stress? You understand how much stress it puts on the citizenry of this country and on the police force itself? That a veteran sergeant, as he is described, has to be arrested and locked up and so on for the theft of a sophisticated, a high-powered piece of weaponry, an M16 rifle. And even though they feel they have enough on him to arrest him, to charge him, to lock him up, and so on, they don't know where the rifle is. It's somewhere where you saw somebody killed, or you are convinced somebody, but you can't find the body. And that is scary, That is very, very, very scary. Where is that rifle? What was it spirited out of the armory for? What use is it intended to be put to with elections approaching? Has it been given to somebody with the ability, maybe some criminal deportee from America? M16 is an American-made piece of weaponry, automatic rifle, to point at somebody's head in the upcoming campaign and make it look like it was coincidence or an accident? Why is he not saying where it is? Let's not forget a man shot his own brother at Oleon just a few days ago. And what did the wife say? She saw the man coming with a rifle, not a handgun, with a rifle. He shot his brother from a distance. The brother tried to run, fell, or whatever. He shot him again and came and finished him off with a cutlass. How many such high power? In this same Denry Valley some time ago, police were stunned when they discovered what they considered to be one of the most efficient, sophisticated, successful rifles, an SLR, I think, self-loading rifle, whatever. They said they had not seen one for a long time, whatever, and to find it, in some kind of recovery from criminals, etc. Now, police-issued M16 rifle is out there. Who has it? Who has it? And is it only the citizenry in terms of civilians that have to be afraid? Maybe police want to take out other police and so on, so to facilitate their rise through the ranks, and if there's an opening for some promotion that they might get it, we just never know with those things. This kind of conduct. Mr. Law, are you also concerned about discreditable conduct? Criminal conduct, illegal conduct within the police force. There was an accident on Miku Street. And all reports indicate, okay, it was an accident. They don't believe that the driver of the car deliberately hit the child, but it's the attitude and the behavior of an, if not off-duty, a plainclothes police officer driving, if not a private vehicle, an unmarked vehicle, happens to pick up a child and the child ends up underneath the vehicle. If he had continued rolling an inch, maybe people are thumping on the vehicle and he's getting upset. Do you think people will just come and thump on your vehicle just like that? Like he was upset until he realized what had happened. The child is stuck under the vehicle. We have to be more careful there with road crossing and this kind of thing. And Mr. Law, these kinds of things, How do they impact the police relations? Because a big part of police welfare has to be the relations with civilians, with the citizenry of the country. If police are always in a state of tension with civilians and so on, that's not good for their welfare. That's not good for their well-being. Because the reports say that the officer, when he realized what had happened, he looked very, very upset. Like he could not talk. He could not do anything. Of course, when he realized he almost crushed a child's head. These are the kinds of things that we need to look into also. What is the impact on police welfare and well-being? When the relations between them and the people who they need their support, who they need to supply them with information and all of that, when those people are increasingly being put off by the behavior of police. Now, again, I don't believe this happened because the person is a police. Are you concerned about these kinds of things, Mr. Law? You need to look into it because there are many, many incidents of it about police having too much attitude and so on. You can only want increase for them and flat rate overtime of $550 a month for them and all this kind of thing, but you're not looking into the whole decorum and ethic of being a police officer. Did you ever talk about that police officer? They told me you don't support him in what he's doing, who seem to be threatening politicians and saying how he will dispense justice as he pleases. What does it do for police welfare since you've taken such a wide berth of eligibility and legitimacy in what a police welfare matters? Did you ever speak about police who shoot people in the course of doing their duties at police and no inquest is ever held? Are you concerned that this is not conducive to police welfare? That it is putting police in the crosshairs of public antagonism and animosity? That is making them, the targets of enmity and so on when they are never made to properly account for certain things? Again, I don't consider this in the normal run of things to be police welfare issues, But I kind of wonder, since you're a man, you're venturing off into deputy commissioner being investigated for this and this person here, impacts report and who's in impact. And you're venturing into all those things, Mr. Law. Maybe you need to venture into the other things. The need for proper procedure and due process to be followed in the police force. Because it is harming the morale of police officers as it is making them targets of antagonism and animosity in a small country where everybody knows everybody. And when they are not made to properly account, then the level of residual public anger that accumulates and accretes from those incidents is a lot worse than if the proper process and due procedures were followed. Mr. Law, think about those things. Chew on those things. And stop being as politically driven. Stop being as so politically overcharged as you clearly are. Many people think so. And I'm one, and I've never made any secret of it. Folks, I'm declaring the phone lines open. 487-9849 is the WhatsApp number that you can WhatsApp call us on. And you can also call us on the landline, which is 4533-911. So 4533-911, our landline, and 487-9849. Their messages, let me see if I can get to read some of them. Good afternoon to you. To those of you who are just sending greetings, but we're getting our first call, okay? So let's take that first call. Hi, good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Shelton, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Mr. Shelton, I'm very concerned about the desperation of the United Workers' Party to get into power. And anything, because some intend to say they will do anything you can do. Now, I'm very concerned about Mr. Law. As an ex-officer, I'm very concerned about Mr. Law. Very, very concerned. I think Mr. Law is not serving his members genuinely. I don't think so.
He's not what?
I don't think he's serving his members to the best of his. I think he have some kind of squad set right, But I think he needs to look at himself or the forced me to do something about it because the interview I heard from Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Yad. This is a man that not supporting the party, the government he is working for. I don't think so. We all know that because there is evidence where he was, on the other side. He went out run off and things like that. But, so I have my doubt about him. I don't like the fact that he is the way he's carrying his duties. I don't like it. I think he better check himself because he's working for the government of St. Lucia. I don't think he's working for the opposition. He's working for the government of St. Lucia, and that's what they should do. Don't mislead. I think it's putting some kind of thing in the members. It could be very, very influential with the members. As a man that has been there, it could be very influential. So I think isn't this, he's going that way. I think the government needs to do some more work because I don't think we're doing any chaos now in the police force. And don't forget we have another top man in the force that was, there was things about him that was showing that he was supporting the other party. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful, with Mr. Long. I think we need to do something about it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks. 487-9849. That's the WhatsApp line number. You can WhatsApp call us on that. 758-487-9849. And you can call us on the landline 4533-911, which is where we got our first call. But we have someone calling on the WhatsApp number now. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello. Hello. Hi, caller. Are you there? All right, okay. Person is either not talking or they have some problem at the end. So try again, call again. Let's see if we'll get you the next time. 487-9849 and 4533-911. A WhatsApp message says, Cameron Law does not want to do mainstream policing. He only wants to sit at a welfare office crafting mischievous plans. Therefore, promotion will be difficult for him to get. Law does not do traffic. He does not investigate cases. He don't patrol the beats. Nothing so. Just wants to play sweet boy. We have a caller? No? All right. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hello. Good afternoon, Shelton.
Oh, this is a nice, clear call.
Yes.
I'm hearing good. Thank you.
Like it is often said, Shelton, who will guard the gods?
Who will guard the gods?
Yes. I believe honestly, law is causing a disservice to the officers it's representing. Yes, and this is pure, anybody can see that, but it's pure politically motivated. Yeah, because I'm saying to myself, but all along I was not here talking about the overtime of officers and stuff, and all of a sudden he's talking about overtime and this, which I understand the police has to be compensated, for their hours and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's only now, as election
and the formula, so you pay people $550 for overtime, whether or not they work overtime. It's just a kind of a flat rate overtime allowance that you give them. That don't make sense. Overtime is something that has to be computed and calculated,
That's what I know.
Some people will get more than $550, some will get less, some will get, based upon, whatever it is, the situation. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, and I want to thank the officers. All the independent activities took place because they were trying to boycott the activities. I'm saying to myself, if you have love for a country, this is a national event. Why would you want officers to boycott independent activity? And we know every year this has been happening. So I want to say kudos to the officers who worked tirelessly to make sure we had a safe independent weekend. In spite of a few incidents that happened, but it was not really quite related. What happened in Report was really unfortunate. Yeah, but all in all, it was very successful. Right. I want to say kudos to the officers who worked hard. Tirelessly, we have to let them know that when they do a good job, because we're quick to criticize them when they do something bad. So yes, that's just my contribution this afternoon.
Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Yes, okay, and you go and boycott independence activities and whatever it is, and then when you do that, and there's an M16 rifle out there, so less police to provide security and to crowd control and maybe even VIP protection, because you've told them boycott it, and then there's an M16 out there, maybe more, SLR and all of that. Who has it? What do they have it for? You know, who's hoping that they can point it at whose head and take them out? We gotta think about those things, you know. We gotta think ahead. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that number, and also 4533-911. Good day, Mr. Daniel. The Lou, as the leader of the opposition, showed blatant disrespect and disregard for our laws and our people yesterday. The man has continually tried to disrupt the House. I think the Speaker may have to read into his motive and not call on the sergeant. I think that's what the Speaker did. Secondly, he has a court case against CIP. Now, even the mighty USA has introduced CIP with US $5 million cost. Yeah, Donald Trump is introducing, from what I've been reading, a gold card. So you can get citizenship in the United States for $5 million, you know. They're making money and so on. So isn't that a CIP? America always had CIP, you know. They didn't call it that, but they've always had something like that. Do we have someone on the WhatsApp line? All right, let me just... Yeah, hi, caller. Can you hold on? Let's take someone... Yeah, can you just hold on, caller, while you take someone who's on the other line, okay? All right, yeah, hold on. We have someone on the other line. Hi, yeah. WhatsApp line, go ahead.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Just know we have someone on the other line, so make it tight. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you. Let me say something. I expected a young guy who entered the force to do something stupid like that. But when I saw the picture, but that is a hard-ass old man.
What are you talking about?
The guy with who stole the firearm.
Yeah, they said a veteran sergeant. That looks like a man who's maybe, you know, not far from retirement. I don't know his age, but, you know, you expect someone like that. I don't know.
Sheldon, from the man's picture, the man is no spring chicken.
That's right.
So why would you get yourself in such a mess? If you can get yourself involved in that nonsense, you must have been one of those selling the bullets on the streets to the guy. I rest my case. I'm done. I'm gone. Goodbye.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, and we lost the other caller immediately too. So apparently that person didn't want to stay on the line if Maria was not also there keeping him company. But you can call back 4533-911 and 487-9849. In a few minutes we'll be going for another commercial break. Let's see. We have someone else who's Shelton, blessing as usual. Oh my God, Shas has a great problem, sick to the bones, and thinks he is boss, but he doesn't know what's coming for him. Let's take the landline this time. Yeah, hi caller, good afternoon. Real Issues. Hi, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I will problem with Wasco.
Can you turn down your TV or radio? Can you turn down your TV or radio, whatever you're listening to us on?
Yeah, turn it up.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Wasco. They said they're going to cut the water in enough tomorrow. But it's 2 weeks now, we're in enough and we don't have water. So how are we going to cut it off when it's cut off?
So I don't know. I've been getting a lot of calls.
You call Wasco phone and they will never answer the phone, you know.
That's a problem. So many places that they don't answer phone, banks, utility companies, phone companies, and so on. But I've been getting a lot of.
No water.
I've been getting a lot of calls from people living in the area of Piat, Grand Riviere, Montsepa, Asuka. That they're not getting water for a long time, long before Wasco announced. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry about that, my friend. I hope that after whatever upgrade that they're doing, that things will improve. Thank you very much.
I think there's a downgrade because I call them quite slow. Yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's amazing, even in great times of great inconvenience, that people can still find, that little reserve of humor, wry humor and so on. Yeah, I've been getting quite a few calls from people living in Asukanal, Piat, the general, I think, Grand Riviere area, Montsepa, and those areas that they haven't been getting water for a long, long time. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
How are you doing, comrade?
Doing great. How about you?
Well, I'm hanging in there. Very excited about Sunday.
About Sunday? What's about Sunday?
About Sunday. Your prime minister going to be in my country.
Okay. All right. Okay. What country is that? Tell me again. What country is that?
Oh, Shelton. Come on, man. I'm just calling to invite you to come along. I know you asked me what country.
No. Well, tell me which country you're referring to that he'll be in.
Grenada.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, the NDC convention.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right, so then I'm calling to give you the invitation to accompany.
Okay, so you want me to come to Grenada on Sunday?
Oh yes, man. I want Comrade JP to bring you, man, because you know, I mean, you are a very good motivational speaker.
All right, okay.
You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it. We're very excited about our convention.
Okay. Thank you
very
much.
He been a great
do I have the honor of knowing who's extending this invitation, the name of the person?
Honesto.
Okay, Honesto. How are things, my brother?
Everything is good, my bro. Everything is good.
All right, okay. We're
very excited and we're looking forward to him, you know.
Okay, buddy.
He will be along with Dominica Prime Minister Escarret.
If I will be what?
But he will be accompanied by Dominica Prime Minister Escarret.
Yes.
You know, and I want to thank him for all the things that he helped us to bear during our the hurricane season.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and we're always excited when he comes. You know, he's a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
You know, so I'm welcoming you also. I'm inviting you.
Okay. Ernesto, thank you so very much. Okay, we appreciate that, and I hope it won't be long before we hear you call the program again. It's really something that we appreciate, someone from another island following and giving us that call. Okay, thanks a lot for the support.
All right, always listening and continue to listen. Continue to do the great work and continue to push the line of education as you always do, and keeping the people very knowledgeable.
Okay. I'm all.
You're welcome. Make sure if you don't show up, I want to do that you're listening on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All
my brother.
Be sure to call again, my friend. So long.
Definitely. All
right. We have another call on the line. Hi. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. How are you?
Hey, what's up, my buddy? You good?
Well, God is good, not me.
That's a very candid and very honest admission.
No, but that's what my Bible tells me.
That's right.
There's none good.
There's none good but God.
None good save the Father.
All right. Wonderful stuff.
Okay. Shelton, I had fully intended to
the technician is saying, can you speak up a bit?
Yeah, I had fully intended to call and speak about Alan Shastney's conduct in the House yesterday. But Shelton, I believe, well, I'm going to do so tomorrow, God willing. But I'm going to let me speak on the disappearance of that M16 machine gun from the Grocery police station. Shelton, like you said, this thing is so alarming, so frightening, that every single citizen who is concerned about the level of crime in this country, especially the murders, must take note of this. But Shelton, this is not anything new, you know, in terms of guns disappearing from police stations. This is not anything new. And police stations, police officers being involved in bad conduct, again, it's nothing new. Shelton, look, I've called the talk shows to say that people, reliable people, honest people I trust to give me solid information. And that was several years ago, maybe close to 2 decades. And people told me that if they wanted guns, if they were serious about owning guns and licensed guns, they would have owned those guns, because there was a police officer going into a certain community to sell guns. And there was this guy who called an IPI show one day, and IPI goes back a long way, if you can recall, Shelton, a long way.
Yes.
And the guy said, listen, I'm going to say right from the outset, and the guy was eloquent, right from the outset, I am well known to the police. I have gone to jail on more than one occasion, but I decided to change my life when I started a family. And the guy said that was some 4 to 5 years ago. And the guy said he was one of a gang of guys, young guys, who were being paid by certain police officers to break into vehicles, steal the music sets, steal those vehicles' music sets, and sell to those police officers. Shelton, I was reliably informed, and again several years ago, by a police officer, no less, that there was a top cop who had his own ganja farm in a certain constituency. I was informed that there was another top cop, well known to everybody, and again that was several years ago, who had his own ganja farm. So this is not something new, Shelton, but this is frightening. It's absolutely frightening, Shelton. A police officer, a sergeant no less, but it also brings into question the process, the protocols, the procedures that are in place for those armories that are held at those police stations. How could a police officer, whether sergeant, whether constable, whether corporal, whether whatever, how could a police officer remove a weapon, especially such a high caliber weapon, from a police armory without anybody being the wiser, unless he was in cahoots with somebody else or some other people who at that
or maybe just pulling
get away with this.
Just maybe just pulling rank and throwing his weight around. Because
who knows?
A sergeant is usually the one who's in charge of a station. They call it the station sergeant.
Yes,
so who knows? He just threw his weight and pulled rank. You know.
What is the procedure? Can a sergeant? Does a sergeant have the necessary authority to go into the police armory and take a machine gun, such a high caliber weapon, and go out with it? On what basis?
Yeah.
I mean, Shelton, look, this is alarming, and the type of stuff that has been happening over the years in the police force. And I've said before too that I believe the majority of our police officers, maybe 90 to 95% or more, are honest, hard-working police officers, men and women in the force. But there is a small cadre of police officers who are rotten to the core and who are still in there. And steps must be taken to weed those people out.
Yes.
Because if we're serious about fighting crime, as I've said before, the first place we need to start, we need to clean out, is the police force. Thanks, Shelton.
All right, thank you very much. Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, will return after these commercial messages.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell V4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, is on this Wednesday, the 26? Yes. Senior moment, you know. This Wednesday, February 26, 2025. Good afternoon to my fellow Denarian, Vincent, who says, good day to you, sir. Hope you're doing good. Yes, I am Vincent, and I hope it's the same with you as well. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
You ever had a term, like something always comes back to haunt you? Your words or actions always comes back to haunt you?
Go ahead, I'm listening to you. Go ahead, just talk.
Okay, I'm letting you know. Yesterday, I kind of rehashed what Alan Shasley said a couple of years back when he said, I don't listen, I let the jackasses breathe. But what happened in the house yesterday, it reflects just what he said. And it came back to haunt him yesterday. Because for a man to stand up in the House of Assembly, Mike said nobody listened to him. And the man just stood there praying like that. You know, I figured out, boy, you see how things always come back to haunt you or nip you in the butt? When you say something to people, they always come back to haunt you. You alone stood there in the house. Bradley ran away from you because of the stupidity that you were doing. Understand? You stand there praying and praying and praying. And you have the audacity, as usual, to challenge the speaker. What is he getting from that? I don't know. What is his intention?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You heard the arrogance, eh? Mr. Speaker. I will not allow you to misinterpret a legal document.
Yeah, you remember Guy Joseph told Peter Potter the same thing too.
No.
How can you interpret contract?
Since when that's your role to interpret contract in this house?
Yeah, you know that part.
Yeah, the man is a lawyer.
So it's the same playbook. You understand? So these guys have no respect for authority whatsoever. No respect for the constitutionality of the Speaker of the House. Nothing.
And like I said, in the case of Shasney, it's not just the Labour Party. You might say the SLP Speaker. You know, Shasney did that to Andy Daniel. Bold-faced look at Andy and say, I will not withdraw it. I won't withdraw it. You can do what you want. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is disrespect that is just part of the man's makeup.
And the cruelty went out to the female speaker as well, you know.
Yeah.
When she don't even go for a bathroom, she had to pass out.
Yes.
You understand? But from what I saw yesterday, I could see that Bradley was very discontented because you could actually see his demeanor and his actions. Like he tried to tell Shafted, like, oh man, come on, stop it, man. Stop
But he's denied that, eh? You know that?
He denied that?
Bradley has denied that. Bradley said he actually walked out of the house in protest against Claudius's treatment of Shasney.
He lied.
Yeah, but you see, let me tell you this. Let me tell you, I wish we would stop speaking for Bradley or trying to speak for him. And our trying to speak for him seems to be based upon our thinking that Bradley is, as they would say after the Second World War, the good German, you know, the good Nazi.
Okay.
Bradley is a fella who's a master pretender. And Bradley, as we would say in our Creole, he bevis, you know. Bradley is a fellow with a lot of vice, a lot of pretense. He is working closely with Shasney, in total sync with him, but he always comes and makes himself look like he's the reasonable man, he's the man, you know, who think there. We're reading too much into Bradley's participation in that independence battle relay and all of that to think that he is an open-minded kind of person. Bradley is not. Bradley is a pretender and a vicey fellow, you know.
He's just been a hypocrite, that's all.
Yeah.
Now there's no news today, so everybody's listening to you today. Now here it is. What I don't understand is how can a man, through his own interpretation, who say that in this bottom floor of a building, where the deed of sale actually states what it entails, the land and the buildings thereof. The deed of sale says that there's no way. I have a copy of the document. I went through it last night. There is nowhere in that document that states any ground for this was sold. What was leased was that same floor back to him, back to the government. So you sell a building for $14 million, right? You leave that $14 million there to retrofit that same building, and then you turn around, you lease the floor for $1 billion a month for 16.5 years. Make that make sense? It's like you just give them a building. You understand? Man get a boy, you take a boy. You understand? And you're going to say you didn't sell the building, you sell only the ground floor. What there?
Yeah.
So if you sell only the ground floor, why? If you sold the ground floor, why you list the ground floor to yourself?
Exactly.
You sold the ground floor for $40 million, but you listed yourself for $1 million a month.
Yeah.
That making sense?
I tell you.
That's never say jackass of ability.
These fellas believe they can do any kind of skullduggery.
I haven't such thing that so gullible and stupid. You sell a building for $14 million. You say that you sold it for the ground floor for $14 million.
Yeah.
You see? Right? Then you list that same ground floor to yourself, to the government, for $1 million a month for 16.5 years.
It don't look like some people ever graduated from. It don't look like some people ever graduated from Donata,
That's a vice minister right now. I'm the one.
All right, we go talk.
Vice minister Donata.
We go talk. Sorry. My apologies to the Donata alumni,
Yeah. I apologize to you on your behalf as well.
Yes. Thank you very much, my friend.
There is a class A imbecile.
Yes.
You understand? And the other tax you to stand in the house. I wonder which lawyer who advising me sometimes to say stupid things in the house. And you have these labels all right up. Oh, they prefer Shakti from talking. Oh, they did that. But they actually are the idiocy that brings in Shakti so much so that the people get fed up with them.
Okay, buddy.
Understand? The man is just a pure stupid.
We have another caller waiting, so thank you very much. Yes.
All right, Shelton.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
How are you?
Doing okay, and you?
I'm fine for now.
Yeah, hold on the caller on the landline. We have another person on the WhatsApp line. Just hold on. Yeah, caller, go ahead. We have someone else waiting, so, make it a little time.
I'll be very short. I'll be very, very short.
Yeah, hold on, lady. Lady, just hold on. There's somebody else on the other line, okay? So just hold on. We're coming to you just now. Go ahead, caller.
Let me say two things to you. Number one, a gentleman was arrested for a firearm that's missing at a police station. He has been, placed in the system until case management. So in no way can we say he's guilty.
Has he been charged? Has he been formally charged?
According to reports, he has been formally charged.
Right, so you can mention his name.
I rather not do that.
No, you can mention his name. Legally, you can.
Yes, you can.
Once he has been formally charged, you can mention his name.
That's correct. We could do that. But I don't want people to be saying, oh, he did it. No, guys, we have to wait until you have all the evidence has been placed before the courts and a judgment has been made. That is how you say somebody is a criminal or you say somebody is guilty. So let's leave that there.
Okay.
Let's move to the next one.
Quickly.
Yeah. A week or two ago, somebody from the United Workers' Party presented a document on a government instrument or letterhead showing that they had sent communication to a hospital in Martinique. I have viewed that document. I have taken it to printers, and they have all told me that document is fraudulent. My question to you now, Mr. Daniel, Do you know whether anybody in St. Lucia is looking into that document and who was the person who circulated that false document for them to answer to the name?
All right, it's something that should be looked into. I agree with you.
I mean, this is serious.
Yeah, even after the
You
fact,
cannot use
even
government
after the fact,
letterheads.
fraudulence is fraudulence. Period.
Thank you very much, sir. And we need to keep the fire under their feet. People can't just be producing documents like that and then they're going to say people are liars and this and
Yeah.
no, we need to find out who did it. Thank you very much. Have a
Okay,
nice
thank
day.
you very much. All right. Hi, caller on the landline. You're on the air. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm doing okay, and you?
Sheldon, you see why I tell St. Lucian people that Shasta is not to be trusted in anything. The man representing, even though we have two different parties in the country, he's still representing all of us. And every time he behaves that certain way, he actually makes everybody feel bad. So, if I am on your side and you're representing like that, you're making me feel ashamed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have my neighbors or other people to look at me like somebody representing me. And that's the way he representing me all the time. Disrespecting the people of the country all the time like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That is to tell us, you have no pride in our country. You have nothing to give us. And you have nothing to offer us. But destructions, problems, wicked talks, all kind of negative things coming out of you. I don't know how these people that call themselves the United Workers' Party have somebody like that to represent him.
In fact,
I mean,
in fact, Shasna is making himself two of his favorite words. He's making us ashamed and embarrassed when he does those things. That's what he is. He likes to use those words. You know, he should be ashamed and embarrassed. Well, Shasna is the main cause for shame and embarrassment, you know.
He is the one who carrying the shame.
Yeah.
He is the one who has the big bag full of shame.
Yeah.
Embarrassment everywhere he walk.
Yeah.
Every time the man open his mouth, he's useless. The man cannot come out. Imagine, Sheldon, there are people that monitoring him so we can see what's going on. If we can support him or not to support him. But look at that kind of shame. Look at that embarrassment. You think me, St. Luciano, that kind of man to represent me? So if I don't know something, I don't want somebody to come and represent me and he don't even know anything. So he's not teaching me anything then. Because I don't know better. And he know better. So you're supposed to come and teach us. But you're not teaching anything. Nobody can learn anything out of this man.
I said that the other day, you know. I said that the other day. Shasna does not have a developmental or educating effect on anybody. You know?
The man never come out, Sheldon, and explain to us and tell us how he wants to run the country. How? What's the development? What is the asset? What is going to put in place? I mean, I have been waiting and looking and listening to hear from all of them. What is the plan for y'all, for us in this country, so that I can have a little faith? If I have a doubt, at least I can have a little faith.
Okay.
What is the faith you're giving us in St. Lucia? I want St. Lucian people to know that we are not stupid, and we want to continue letting him know that he is the jackass.
All right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Say no more. Say no more. We have someone else waiting. Thanks. Appreciate your contribution.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Okay.
But I want them to go back and come back again.
Okay.
Go back and come back again.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's say good afternoon to a very patient Bernard Haynes, who's been holding on the WhatsApp line from New York. Bernard, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon, Shelton. Let me start by saying Yellow, black, white, and blue is who I am and is who I represent. Shelton, I love this country of my birth.
Speak up a bit.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Shelton, I was following the sitting of the house, and my heart bleed. It bleed, Shelton. It bleed. Shelton, I felt so bad. You know, knowing me, Shelton, my tears were not far away. Gosh, I cried, and my head started hurting. Shelton, what have we descended to? My goodness. Is that what our politics is about? Is that what our house has turned to? Shelton, to be honest with you, I know people have their political parties that they support. They have their people that they support. But yesterday, I threw out the politics and I said to myself, you know what? Come what may. At the courts we are and at the courts we will remain. I asking the sergeant of arms to put out the leader of the opposition. Take us to court. You have 13, make it 14. But you're not staying in the house and disrespect me. And for me to be that kind of partial, that kind of patient, that kind of good, for you to stay there and do that. I'm not just only putting up the mic, I'm putting you outside, period. Yeah, let the courts determine. If the courts determine that I did wrong and then we should compensate you, so be it. But for the time being, I put you out.
Okay.
Shelton, we cannot allow this thing to continue. They have children, they have invited guests in the house. There are school children, there are people looking at this and saying to myself, what is wrong? I know things happening in parliaments in different countries. But Shelton, our country cannot continue like that. We have to make things better. No, somebody, even if it is Dr. Kenny Anthony, I feel like to talk to the Prime Minister, to the former Prime Minister and tell him, we cannot go on like that. Because it looks like now he's following Dr. Kenny Anthony so closely that you can almost predict that when Dr. Kenny Anthony speaks, Alan Chasney will speak right after him because he wants to copy exactly what Dr. Kenny Anthony said, even if he does not understand what Dr. Kenny Anthony is saying.
Yes.
You know? But no, we got to do something, Shelton. We got to do something. That can't go on like that. That has gone on for too long. We got to stop that.
Okay.
Something has to happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.
Someone sends a message saying, I wonder if the SP, special prosecutor that is, can take action against Alan Chasney for the apparent bubble regarding the Diamol. Well, time will tell. An ambassador sends, he says, Shelton, we must stop this Donata thing with Alan Chasney. His foolish moves are not foolish moves. They are white-collar criminal moves. There is big money under the table with every such move, including Budget Gate and COVID-19 Gate. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for that message. Let's see if we have any others we can read. Good afternoon to you, Muriel, who says, good afternoon to you. Stay safe. Blessings upon you. I'm there watching the show. Brady Felix said he walked out of the house because they didn't give Chasney a chance to talk in the house. Yes, so he claims. Bradley Felix forms part of, what I've been cautioning against. This thing where anytime somebody seems like they're not getting on well with who we consider to be our arch foe or arch rival, that we rush to embrace them and like we're prepared to we have to be careful of this. Be very careful. A lot of people know how to play games. Not just politicians in the parliament and elsewhere. We have people on social media with lives and podcasts and so on who are playing their own set of games. And we have to become wise. In politics, you don't run behind people. You don't chase them. You don't rebuff them. You don't huff them. You don't tell them, don't come by me, I don't want you. You don't do that. But you have to be careful about embracing them, especially when you do so publicly, where you can be recorded, where you can be seen. Because sometimes it's all a setup to make you look foolish, to make you look stupid, to make you look vulnerable, to make you look like, you're absolutely clueless and so on, and then they can dance circles around you. I'll do that. Shelton, good afternoon. Can you help me by finding out who's entitled for the back pay? Because my husband worked for 19 years and is a pensioner and did not get anything. I'm okay. I'll try to see what I can find out, but although I don't think that category he would be, considering the time he stopped working and what, I don't know, Let's try to see. We're rapidly running out of time. We have to end at 2 o'clock. I think I had read this one already where someone said, Shelton, you see, from now until the next election, I expect anything, and the person put that all in caps, from Shasney and his UWP. I suspect I had read that one already. Another one says he's absolutely contemptuous of St. Lucia. St. Lucian's Parliament uses the people of Miku South and considers himself above everyone. Very much a Trump clone, very dangerous autocrats. They have supporters who are also totally self-centered, seeking their own ambitions. St. Lucia and the Caribbean also in great danger. Now Trump has his clones rubbing their paws. Maybe I hadn't read this one. Shelton, blessings as usual. Oh my God, Shas has a great problem, sick to the bones and thinks he is boss, but he doesn't know what's coming for him. Let me see if I can see this other one. It says, wow, this one's a little long. I think I read this one. Okay, yeah, I read this one already about the gold card that Trump is allegedly introducing. Let's see what else we have there. Okay. Alright, I think we pretty much have covered those that we have there in the WhatsApp messages. Facebook Live people, I had intended to come to you, but time just goes by so quickly. So we appreciate, your interaction. I know it's self-supporting. You'll support each other and keep the fire lit, keep the engine at rev and going. You're the reason why I enjoyed in this program so much, and I hope that I make it worth your while. Thanks very much, Jaquan, for another great job at the controls and with the calls. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday safely, everyone. Everything equal, God willing. Let's do this again same time tomorrow from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM Radio, MBC Television, Facebook, and YouTube live streaming. Shelton Daniel signing out from The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters.
The voice.
For the midday draw of Wednesday, 26 February 2025 were Double Daily Grand 3, 7, 12, 13. Big 4, 0, 0, 7, 3. The Big 4 multi-export drawn is FP. Pick 2, 1, 0. The Pick 2 multi-export drawn is 3X. 1 off, 7, 9, 1. Lucky 3, 3, 3, 5. The Lucky 3 multi-export drawn is 2X.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.